Hello everyone, welcome to Rapid Developer Training English series. So in this series we are going to discuss about the Rapid Developer topics. So below are the topics we are going to focus as part of the Rapid Developer training. So in order to complete Rapid Developer training, two things are mandatory. One is like we need to have a hands-on with the basic hands-on with the Studio Pro. Studio Pro is the editor we are using to implement the code in Mendix. And there are total 50 questions you will get in a Rapid Developer exam, and 75% you need to get to pass the exam. Okay. So prerequisite here is like you need to have a basic Mendix account. So Mendix account can be created using only company official email address only. And we need to download the Studio Pro. Studio Pro is the IDE which we discussed previously. So first we'll go with the first topic, explore Mendix. As part of this first video, I'm going to cover these two things: how to collaborate with him, what are the different things in Mendix I'm going to show you. Once it's done, then we will start doing hands-on and we'll cover all the below topics, like how to create a project or how to build pages, how to add data to your app, how to associate data, to automate process, how to implement validation, how to secure your app, these things. Okay, let's start. So explore Mendix Studio Pro. So Mendix basically it's into three. Mendix Studio Pro is a Mendix is a ecosystem. Basically, if you go to Mendix ecosystem, below are the things we can find. So using Mendix, we can do end-to-end implementation of a project or management of a project, as well as we can perform other things also. So first thing like we can implement one-to-one, like complete project maintenance. Like you can manage the user stories. You can create a project. You can deploy the project using Mendix thing, the Mendix Cloud. Second thing like marketplace. Marketplace is nothing but every programming language will give like tools or libraries, built-in libraries to enhance the function, implement the functionality. Example, if you take a Java, someone want to create an Excel file. So Java people itself, they created a Java POS library using with help of that. On top of that, we will write our logic. So in that, they will create the logic to implement the Excel. But what programmer will do, developer will do, they will pass the values. They will they will create an object of this library with help of library. They will create an object of that thing and they will generate the Excel with their data. Similarly, marketplace will provide the tools or libraries, which are helpful libraries to implement the functionality, like email functionality, example, or Excel export or Excel import. In every programming, there is a marketplace or in Mendix, we can say marketplace. In other programming language, it may call differently. So in Java, they will say libraries. They will provide a jar files basically. In .NET also, like in the Visual Studio, you can find the as a kind of marketplace. There you can download all the existing libraries. So in order to implement a custom functionality, someone already built that functionality and they create that library to the market like everyone. So we can download that library and we can use of with the help of that library, we can extend the functionality. Someone already written a logic to like generate the Excel or send the email, these things. So we need to just configure our the email server. What is the version like type of protocol SMTP or POP, and what is the port, what is the username, what is the password. Then we can send an email with help of the library. Or if you want to, if some developer want to generate an Excel, we need to specify the data and the column names and the data. We need to pass to that that library file. That will have the method to generate Excel. So similarly, this is the marketplace. And Atlas UI, if you take, so Atlas UI is the UI library provided by the Mendix. It will give default flavors basically, styling basically. So example, you can say any programming language if you do, there are some libraries like Bootstrap if you take as a library. So what we will do in order to implement the UI, like beautify our website or application, with the help of Bootstrap, what we will do in Bootstrap, they provide two files, JS file and the CSS file. So with help of Bootstrap, we will import the, we will append the file or tag those files in our main layout file, and then we can use the bootstrap classes wherever we want. So automatically, whenever the application loaded, the bootstrap will apply the styling to respect to pages where it is used, the classes are used. In Mendix Studio Pro, it is the IDE. So Eclipse is an IDE, Visual Studio Code is an IDE. So IDE is nothing but the tool we are going to use to implement the applications or our applications. So using the tool, we can add pages, we can add some toolbox controls to the pages. So basically, we can manage the project. We can develop the pages, like new pages we can develop. These things we can do. We can manage the version control. So all those things can be managed by the Studio Pro. Now this catalog very less we use, but in order to connect to third-party applications, so we use the catalog. And Mendix support, this support basically it is specific to the this licensed developers or licensed people who took the Mendix node. So they can reach out the support team and they can get the clarifications. Or if they post a query in the forum, means the forum is nothing but a community. The community they can post the questions. And academy. So in order to lend the Mendix, they gave like academy kind of thing. So in that academy, user can go and they can find all these videos related to rapid developer training. Mendix basically we have four certifications: rapid, intermediate, advanced, and expert. In order to get the knowledge of the Mendix and the overall view, so we can go to academy and we can learn those things to that academy. So now I will show in the Mendix application. Like once you create the sign in, we will need to log into this printer at home.mendix.com. Once you log in, you will see an interface like this. There you here you have options basically. Yeah, apps means you can go to this apps page. Recently good apps means you can see what are the apps you worked till now recently. And in this which we discussed, docs will provide the built like detailed information about the features, different versions and features of the Mendix. You can go to the document and you can read those documents. If you want to learn the Mendix, here is the academy. So you need to go to academy and learning paths you need to go. There you can find different learning paths for different level like that. So you can filter the based on the levels or roles. So let's say for rapid, if you filter, you get the rapid developer course or crash course. Similarly, if you filter for the other thing, you can get those videos. The learning paths you will go like this. Community is nothing but you can interact with some other people within the Mendix who are using Mendix. In this community, you can know the other people in your organization, etc. And marketplace is this one. So if you go to marketplace, basically you will see built-in widgets or built-in features. So in Mendix, we call controls as a widgets, built-in features these are. So in order to, let's say someone want to connect to implement Excel functionality. So then they need to come to marketplace and they need to click on this search here. Let's say I selected marketplace. So Excel import. If I set something, this is the Mendix. So in marketplace, there are two types of things we can find. One is like this modules or widgets provided by the Mendix as well as third-party people. So it is preferred to always download the widgets or modules provided by the Mendix. How we can find like these modules are provided by Mendix or not? Like we can see here published by. So published by will tell us, okay, these are the widgets provided by the Mendix. And each widget have a separate, we can see different releases or different versions you can see. So based on the Studio Pro version you used, we need to up to date this widget always. Example, if you take here, this widget have 9.0. It will support 9.0.5 version, 10.2.0 only. If you are using only Studio Pro 9.0.5, you cannot upgrade this widget to 10.3. If you want to upgrade the widget, you need to upgrade your Studio Pro also. Similarly, if you want to upgrade to 10.7.2 means first you need to upgrade your project or application to 9.24 point in the Studio Pro 9.24.1. 11 modeler, then you need to upgrade the widget. It will be like this. So here you know basically. So that is about the marketplace. So what else? Community will discuss support. You can go. So now in the next step, we will go about like how to create a project in Mendix and how to interact with the team. That I will tell you. So in Mendix, if you click on this one, or if you go to app section, you have two options to create an app. So if you click on this navigation context menu, so here you have a create app, or you can create an app here also. So you can click on create app. In order to download the Studio Pro means you can download the Studio Pro from here. But I will show you the somewhere you can download the Studio Pro again. So app you can create in Mendix in two ways. One is using the Studio Pro, other one using the from up this portal. So current time I'm going to show how to create an application and how to add the team members in the to the application, as well as what are the navigation items we are going to use frequently while working on application. So when you click on create application to the portal, you will get this kind of screen. So here you need to provide the app information first. So app name, let's see, demo learning now. Yeah. So this here you can give some description for the app and you can select the icon here and you need to click on next. So basically here Mendix provide the templates. So why we need to use these templates? So let's say you want to create a without using templates means it will be a blank web app or you can create basically you can create two types of applications, native mobile application as well as the web application using Mendix. But if you want to create a while creating application, if you need to select some template. Template will provide the basic structure of the application. So if you select blank web app, it will create the project with different different in the different setup or different m- modules required for this app to run basic modules. But if you select any other template, then what you will see basically if you select the purchase template will be there. There are different templates. I will show those templates. So based on the template, your project structure will be different. If you select existing kind of like I will show to the Studio Pro, you select a basic blank web app basically. It will give you predefined libraries and a default setup for your project. Now I'm clicking on create app. So here, while one more thing you need to observe in the Studio Pro, right? So it created an app. By default, when you create an app, it will create it with the Mendix version, latest Mendix version 10.4.0. Okay, you don't have any option to change the Mendix version when you created the application using portal. And here, these are the things. So the buzz means if you want to give provide updates to everyone in the team, so you can use this buzz here. You can provide. And if you want to add a team member in the to this application, you have two ways you can do that. One is like right side this plus button. You click on that. Here you need to type this official email of the project number and then provide one of these roles. Normally, whoever created that application, they have the Scrum Master role. We will use only two roles here basically most of the times. One is like Scrum Master and the other one is the business unit. So the difference is Scrum Master have all the settings. So they can modify app settings and all. They have teams and others, they have cloud access, they can add members, they can provide the feedback, etc. But if you are giving for operator, they have only this is like infra team member. They can only manage the cloud access. If you give it to the developer means you need to provide a, if you want to give access to developer means you need to give access to as a business unit, then they cannot update the configurations like environment variable settings and all. They can commit the code, teams are access means they can view environments, they can see the logs and all, they can add the team members, they can also plan and so if this Mendix Studio Pro is using as a to manage the board project management, and we can plan and provide the feedback. That's the business engineer. Guest user means they can just view the application. They don't have access to this anything. Product owner means same thing. They can add the members and they can plan and provide the feedback. So these are the different roles available, but mostly we are going to use only two roles. Scrum Master, which is already given to the person who created this application, he or she maybe. And let's say if you want to add team members or developers to this, basically we need to give business engineer role. We need to keep it in mind. And other things we use environments. So environments will here basically you will see if the currently you will not see any environment because it is a free app, but in real time you can see different environments created by the client. So the basically three environments we have: SIT, UAT, and prod or acceptance, or we can say SIT, pre-prod, and production. So those environments you will see here by clicking on environment tab. So then you can update these configurations and all, and you can download the log and you can see this show debugger information there, right? So by clicking on this tab, you can get the environment specific debugger information. In case of production issues, sometimes the issue will be we cannot reproduce in our other environments. Then we can debug the live code. For that, we need this thing, these details. Basically, we use environments. Yeah, only we use mostly two options in this portal. One is like environments, other one is the team. So now we created an app and it is created in the version. So if you go to the general tab, once you click, go to see here, you can see now the application rating 10.14.0 and this is a free cloud like this. You will get. Okay. Now I will show the same thing using the Studio Pro. So in order to download the Studio Pro, basically you have option to download Studio Pro or this IDE we can download from here, download Studio Pro. It will take you to this marketplace. Here you can select the versions basically. So normally it is preferred LTS support ones. So here you can see two types of LTS and MTS. Basically, we will better to choose LTS versions while building application. If you want to upgrade application to latest MTS ones, you need to choose. Okay. So as of now, we created 10.14.0, but we can choose any Studio Pro, any version of Studio Pro we want. So let's say I want to work on 9.22.0. I can click on here and I can download this one. I need to install. So it is a exe file. Once you download, it will be downloaded and you need to double click on it and follow next and next like that buttons you need to click. Now I will show how to create the same projects using Studio Pro now. Till now we created using the portal. So we don't have an option. So what are the difference between creating application on portal and this one? I'm going to show you. Let me open the Studio Pro. So when you click on Open Studio Pro, it will look like this. So you need to click on Create New App to create an application. So mm, let me share the screen again. I think some issue. So when you want to create an application in Studio Pro, you need to open the Studio Pro and you need to click on New App. So here you can choose the template. So if you select existing, like let's say complaint management means Mendix people itself, they create some pages and functionality, built-in functionality for this complaint management flow. So developer can upgrade that existing functionality. If you select a blank app template or start a template as a blank app, you will not get any such kind of things. You will just get the predefined libraries and that's it. Now I'm creating it as a starting point. The other difference when using the like creating app in Studio Pro and the difference between the portal and the Studio Pro is here we can select whether we need to host the application as an online or not. If it is no means our application is not visible at the portal level until we commit, we make it enable online. And we don't have option to previously if for 9.22 or 24 onwards, there is no option. So by default, it will be Git repository of Git. But till 9.22, you can have option to choose between Git and SVN, the repository, team server. And you can have option to select the default language also while creating app using Studio Pro. And you can define the local folder. But when you create application using the portal, you cannot have this option. You need to, it will be like once you create application using this Studio Pro, it will create the project in this particular folder. But when you create an app using portal, you need to download the app by clicking on Edit in Studio Pro. Okay. So now let me create a app. So let me create an application here and I'm selecting enable on service. So it is going to create the app at the portal. So I'm going to show that after this. So let me click on create app. So basic thing is here you 2 points we need to understand. One point is like why we are using the templates, the starter template. The starter template, if you select a blank, it will give only minimal libraries to the project. But if you select any other than the blank web app, you will get some predefined built-in functionality and extra libraries in the project. Let me click on create app. So I'm going to show you how it will look like once you create the application in Studio Pro. Mendix is a visual development. Basically, in Mendix, like any kind of without experience, also someone can understand what is happening. So normally in programming language, if you take whatever the business logic written by the developers, it can be understood by only developer proficient to the same language. But in Mendix, anybody can understand the business logic because we are using to create a flows here, visual flows. So let it be completed. Then I'm going to explain this options and how it looks. Now it's loaded almost. So once created a blank web app, it will create application with this basic folders. Okay. So here this system and whatever the app folder is the app for this thing is there. This is the Explorer basically app Explorer where you can see all the files related to the project. Okay. This is the Studio Pro basically divided into 5 parts. The top one is the navigation where you can see you can create the project or exist open the project etc. And this edit after finding and go to find advanced this kind of searching you can do. The view you can see app explorer means it will be the folder structure you can see project folder structure you can see project structure you can create here and other windows you can open using the view. App means app we have two things just to update the widgets. Here Mendix the controls each functionality toolbox controls it as a widget. Normally let's say this is a label or text box. So in any application we are going to build application using few widgets. So those are like text box, drop down, radio button, text area, button, grid, and what else we have? Checkbox. So any web application, anywhere, it is going to use these basic controls only, but the alignment or styling will be different. But ultimately, whatever the in whichever language you implement the application, and it will finally convert it as a HTML. So if you come to Mendix also, same thing. So those are the controls are the widgets here. So you can update the widgets and all using this option. Synchronize app directory means in Mendix, it is, let's say we want to update the logo, company logo. So we will update at the folder level, then we need to click on synchronize so that that will be reflected at the Mendix level or application level. We can reuse it. Example, if we want to see the folder structure, we need to click on show app directory. It will show the application folder structure basically. Here mostly we are going to touch this themes folder. Themes, ours is a web application, so we need to go into web and we will update here. Logo, if you want to update, you will update the logo here. If you want to update the login styling, then we can update here. So something we will do. So the folder structure we can see here. And other thing like Eclipse. Eclipse means in Mendix we can write the custom logic. In some cases, what happens, we cannot, in order to get the optimal performance, we need to write the logic in, like we need to in Java. So Mendix is Java based tool basically on top of Java layer it implemented. In order to optimize the logic, we need to use the hands-on like Java coding. So in order to use the coding, we have a option called Java action. Using the Java action we created in project, then we can deploy that to Java action to Eclipse. Then we can write our own logic like to coding. For that, we need this option. So once you click on deploy for Eclipse, it will create a Eclipse project which we can be open in Eclipse and we can use it. We can write our logics. And if let's say any application we want to deploy, we have two options. One is like directly in Mendix by clicking on publish, it will deploy the project, or you can create a package and upload to the server, and we there we can place in the respective folder, server folder. So there we can deploy. So that is the deployment. So to create the package, we need to click here. Similarly, our deployment directory, whenever we run the application, it will update this deployment directory with the changes. As of now, it has nothing, but once you run, it will create the respective folders or respective styles. It will generate the deployment folder. So that folder, if you want to update, you can use this. Clean, we can use this option. To run the application, either we can go to run and run locally, or we can click on here. Another option we have log configurations. What are the different configurations? We have only default. Here the info means we'll get the information. So these are the different error levels basically. If you want a detailed information, you need to go for trace or debug. You want to only see warnings or errors or critical errors, then we need to select that option. As of now, it will be information only. We'll see. And in order to deploy this thing, we can click on publish. And this Cloud Foundry we will not use mostly. And if you want to run the application debug this in Mendix, we need to click on debug and connect debugger. So other way, like we can see these windows, different windows I mentioned, right? Changes. Changes nothing but what are the files we change. Example, let's say if I change this value to home one and click on OK. So in Mendix, it will create it as a new icon. Like yellow means there are three icons basically. One is like add page. So some blank page I created. Okay. It will create with a plus icon. So let me create one more page. Okay, created, right? So if I want to delete this, okay, so in Mendix, okay, until we commit, we cannot see this delete icon. So delete will come with as a red into mark. If you modified some file, it will be like yellow symbol. If you added a new file means it will be green symbol, plus symbol. If you want to revert, you can do that using the version control. But these are the different windows. Changes window we can see. Connector means we can see the database attributes here in the connector window. But database attributes can be seen if you select a data view or something. And then this is the toolbox. So these are the different windows basically. One window is toolbox, one window is a properties. Property means you can see selected element properties. Currently it is a page property. If you see here, this each page having one layout. Layout is the master content which is going to repeat on every page. So with help of layout, we are going to achieve that. Example, if you take some e-commerce platform, Amazon application or something like that. There in every page we need to see the Amazon logo and some profile details, etc. icons. So for that we create a layout. In that we specify the basic things we want, which are we need in every page. Like navigation also we can specify in the layout. That is the layout. And what else here? Version control. Version control is nothing but to in any project more than one member will work in parallel usually. So what happens when more than one person is working? Like two developers are in the project. Now developer one working on some feature, developer two working on some other feature. In order to not to lose the generated code, we need to what happen? We need to work on the same file sometimes, or we need to work on different files. So whenever some two persons are working on the same file, this version called Mendix version control will help us to keep those changes or maintain those changes. So why we need to use version control is initially whenever someone created a project, it is having the basic structure, but going forward, it is developers going to add one feature to the project. So we cannot commit the project after completing all the features. We need to commit in. So we are developing projects basically using Agile. So increment way using sprints. So here also we need to follow the same. So in order to implement while implementing incrementally, whatever the existing code completed, existing features completed, those has to be committed to server, team server, so that it will be they stored in a repository. And in case of failure, user can get those changes again. That's the reason we are going to use version control here. And language, if you go, language is for the like current language here, whatever the application language we can say here. So in which language you want to generate this or build this application. So some users want to create an application in Mendix. So they will use generate application in Brazil language or Spanish or Hindi and whatever the language it will be. So they can select the language here. Once you select the language, and what happens, that will become a default language for the application. And then whatever the content we are going to show, it has to be presented in the same way. Let's say we are creating application for a Spanish person, but the content is in English. So what will be the problem? So they cannot understand the other language. So in order to avoid those kind of things, Mendix provides us a language option. So we can create one application for multiple languages. How we are going to achieve that? Like our widgets will support this language. So each widget or Mendix, we can create a this one translation thing. With help of language, you can translate the content. With help of that, we can show the data. So while translating the content, we have multiple options in the language like batch translator, batch replace, those kind of things. So that's all about the ecosystem. So let's stop first video here. In next video, we will do some hands-on. Thanks everyone.